Welcome back in another exciting live stream. Today we're just going to look over a viewer portfolio. I got a message from a viewer. We're going to rate it, and feel free to join us sharing your opinion on it too. We want to get everyone's thoughts. Joining me today, Josh, welcome back. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me back once again. I always love these live streams. I love these shows, chopping it up. Today, we're looking at some of the audience's portfolios, and I'm excited for this. I will let you guys know, quick disclaimer, if you're one of the users that submitted your portfolio, I will have, I'm not holding back. I'm being unbiased. So if you do get roasted, at least I left a disclaimer there. So we're not holding
Yeah.
back, and I can't wait to get into this one, though.
And we're not professionals. Like I don't think there's any professional investor in crypto. We're all gambling, and we all have our different thesis on why something works.
Right.
I haven't seen anyone like 100% right all the time, except for the Bitcoin
Nobody.
maxis. Yeah, just the Bitcoin maxis.
Yeah. Technically, yeah. If you're just a Bitcoin maxi, yeah, you're winning.
Yeah, I mean, even some of the ETH guys, they were kind of wrong. Like it took a while for ETH to hit a new all-time high, while Bitcoin, continued outperforming it.
Yeah, you remember the ultrasound money thesis and those guys and different things like that, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah, like things are not always exactly according to plan, and especially during a bull market, a lot of the times you can take fundamentals and throw them out of the window. So
oh
even
yeah,
though a coin may have actually some of the worst fundamentals, some of the worst tokenomics, and a whole bunch of factors that if you were, quantifying the value would be a bad coin or like not a good investment, but would still go on to pump like crazy. So honestly, all bets are off a lot of the time. But to give ourselves the best chances, we like to do the best analysis and due diligence that we can. And based on that, we're going to rate your portfolio that you submitted today. Right.
yes. So I gotta share a mistake before I jump into this. In the last cycle in 2021, 2022, I faded a lot of coins because like that doesn't make sense. Like Doge, when Doge was like hitting new all-time highs because Elon was
Right.
pumping it. It's like I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that community and that
Right.
sentiment is big. They had Dogecoin millionaire out there sharing the good word, bringing more people into crypto, just selling the Kool-Aid. So that's
Yeah.
when I really learned community means a lot. Community can really drive the price no matter what it is.
Facts. I love what you just said there. Selling the Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah,
Those Kool-Aid agents, sales agents, go such a long way. Like think about what Murad is doing right now for SPX 6900, right?
yeah,
Or what the Dogecoin millionaire was doing for Doge back in 2021 or back in 2020, that era and things like that. So that goes such a long way. And things like community, in my opinion, far outpace things like fundamentals and tech more times than not, depending on what token you're looking at. So that's one thing to always keep in mind. And KOLs are wrong all the time. There could be a super
all the
passionate
time.
community
Mhm.
all the time. There could be a super passionate community that's a quote unquote, a bad play that ends up outperforming a lot of the market, right? So
Yeah.
definitely do your own analysis at the same time.
Yeah, so like this cycle, I've been bearish like on a lot of stuff. Like I want to be bullish on the stuff I love, but I also want to be bearish on the things that I don't think are gonna make it. That's been helping
Yeah.
me not get too greedy. I've still made some mistakes, but there is definitely an opportunity to short in this type of market.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Right? More tokens are going to fail than succeed. Much more tokens. It's only a small handful that end up, standing the test of time. So shorting strategy is always a good one in my opinion,
Yeah.
especially when there's so many different kinds of tokens being launched pretty much every single day at this point that end up making it all the way to exchanges and having perps and things like that. So the trend is always your friend, and use the past as data to make your
Yeah.
future decisions, right?
So today we are also live on Binance Square. We have a comment from
Nice.
Zion. Can you tell us about XRP? Now, I feel like XRP is kind of a meme coin because it has that community sentiment. No one's using that blockchain. No one
No
is
one
really
is.
using that for settlement because you have so many options. So that is not the thing that's driving the price up. It's really the community. I've seen the crazy stuff on social media. XRP going to like $100,000. I'm like, it's crazy, but you have to be crazy to make people drink that Kool-Aid.
Exactly. It's the passion, it's the energy that they bring, and it's the shilling, the preaching, if you will, right? The message of XRP. So I find that very interesting. I'm not a fan of it because that's not something that people actually use, just like you said. Even the
Yeah.
CTO of XRP, the CTO said they don't even know what the token even is for or what it even
Yeah, I
does.
can't believe he said that.
Right.
It was like, yeah, you're supposed to lie. You're just supposed to lie
Yeah.
and be bullish as hell.
Exactly. So that goes to show you a lot of the XRP army that's on TikTok, that's on YouTube, that's on Instagram, all over the place, shilling the life out of XRP. Don't even fully know why they're doing that. It's just sort of that tribe mentality. And that sort of, you join the wave, you drink the Kool-Aid, you join the gang, and it's been doing exceptionally well. Of course, they had some official stuff going on. They were in that SEC battle, so on and so forth. There's a narrative there. So that's something that people can, I guess, get behind, that like, oh, yes, things like that. But what I like to look at and where I like to place value is things that I actually like to use, things that people are actually using, and that's actually useful. Right. So
Yes.
that's why I'm not big on XRP. I don't hold a big bag of XRP. The community sentiment could definitely take it the distance, and it already has gone very, very far, of course. But things like, for example, Solana, very cheap, very fast, lots of activity, lots of volume, lots of interesting software and protocols being made every single day, and people are actually gravitating there. You see the mind share on X, you see all sorts of different plays there. So that's something that to me makes sense, and the community and the users have chosen it, right? So XRP to me, it's not even in the same category. Or if you're talking about something like Sui or Ethereum. So after you go on.
Now, I just wanted to share the reason why you want to use things that have more utility is because you have that experience and those insights. Whereas I think the regular XRP investor does not know about all these different cryptocurrencies out there, doesn't know about DeFi, doesn't know like who's actually using these things and seeing like these different companies growing and blowing up on chain.
Yes, one thing I really respect about Dan, he's very patient with people, very patient with new users and different things like that, because you have people who will go on and talk about, let's say XRP, for example, but have never really been in the trenches per se, or really have interacted much with DeFi. They're probably only trading crypto on centralized exchanges and don't even really know the nuances of why the software exists or how to actually interact with it live on the blockchain. So so some of my friends or just people around, or even just people online or on TikTok, that are shilling tokens and different things that they don't actually use in practice or actually use that blockchain, that kind of, I won't lie, that's a little bit annoying for me sometimes as somebody who's in crypto and uses it often. But you're a lot better with that than I am, and you're like, no guys, this is how you do it, this is this. So salute to you on that.
But that just goes to show like sentiment means more than like actual user activity.
100%. And I know that's very frustrating for the teams out there that are building really groundbreaking tech and can't find traction, and then a community could rally behind a narrative, and that will go much further, right?
Absolutely. So let's jump in here. I'm going to, I mean, it should be fine just doxing this guy. I mean, it was a TikTok comment. He messaged me and asked, he was really detailed and I was very sincere. So like, all right, I want to review his portfolio. So I have it in another sheet here, but I just wanted to share the message. So we have SNX, LRC, Fluxzil. It's quite a bit. And he says he invested in all of them equally. Are you familiar with a majority of these coins?
Render, yes. Dash, Neo, Dot, Theta, yes.
They're old school.
I'm familiar with pretty much all of them. These are all, besides maybe Tia, these are dino coins, if you will.
These are dino coins. These are 1 to 2 cycles old, which means if they're not doing anything to drive attention, it's going to really be hard for them to have any upside in this bull market.
Yes. I definitely, some of the picks aren't the worst. I see Render in there. I don't like this portfolio. Sorry, Mr. Mansour.
I know. It was a little painful. It was a little painful to see.
It's pretty painful. Celestia. Sad to say. I used to hold Celestia. I got the airdrop back in the day and I held it for a little bit. But Celestia, dead. Sorry to say. Dash, Neo, Dot, Polka Dot. Definitely get that Polka Dot out of there.
Yeah.
Internet computer.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's a
Actually,
painful one. His
it's
newest
a
one
little
is
bit
Cetus
painful.
though.
So what this is giving is to
Yeah.
me is new user, a lot of YouTube information, a lot of Google information, rather. So these are some of the coins that have been around for a long time. If you look up safe crypto tokens to hold or steady stable crypto tokens to hold for the future for steady growth, you probably see some tokens like this. It's Yeah, for me that's giving very newcomer to crypto. Salute for getting involved and building a portfolio and doing some research. However, there are newer and in my opinion, better tokens or better ecosystems that have more mindshare and more potential for this current cycle than this portfolio that I'm looking at here. My favorite token in there maybe would be Render.
Cetus. Probably Cetus for me.
Oh, Cetus. Oh, they added Cetus.
Yeah, that's our like the latest ad. It's we can get into all of these individually, just like a brief reason what it is and like what they're struggling with. But let us know in the chat, guys, before we dive into this, what do you think of this portfolio? How would you rate this out of 5? What's the 5-star rating on this? For me, I don't want to be mean. I want to be nice about this, but this is a 1. This is a 1.
Be honest.
Yeah, this is a 1 because these are old coins and they're gonna have to fight for attention with all the new shiny coins out there. And once that money leaves us, that ecosystem, it's hard to bring it back.
Yeah, think about it. Some of these tokens are older than Solana, right? And then just let that sink in. Some of these tokens are older than Solana. We got a -1 rating.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, brutal. Yeah. I said, 1 to 5. He's like -1.
-1. I'll give it a, honestly, I'll give it a 0.5.
Okay. 0.5. Yeah.
The 0.5 is, I guess, that Render and that Cetus. I'm not sure what the balance is. He didn't get that specific to give
Let's
you
say equally. Yeah.
Let's say, they're all in equal parts.
He invested in them equally.
Pardon me. Oh, yeah. Then I think that 0.5 is probably right on the money, to be honest. I don't think it's gonna go to 0, but you're not getting any life-changing gains.
I wish you just had Bitcoin at least. Yeah, this is where you having some Bitcoin would have helped you out massively on this.
100%. But Mansoor, I encourage you to join the off-brand community. You can tap in with Dan and I and the rest of the community and see some of the newer stuff that we're looking at potentially farming for, and just our strategy and how we look at it. So definitely I invite you to join us. Don't be discouraged. Salute for, getting involved in the crypto game, doing your research, but there's more to the game. And join off brand, we'll get you right.
Absolutely. Because, crypto is honestly a game of attention. We have so many blockchains doing the exact same thing that the winner is whoever gets the most attention.
Yeah, 100%. Where attention goes, money flows, as the saying.
Man, always a good saying. Yeah.
Where the attention goes, money flows, and that's a real one, especially in something like crypto. Very speculative market. What's everyone speculating on? What are some of the narratives that you can speculate that people will speculate on, and different things like that, right? Mindshare is everything. So a lot of these old tokens kind of out of sight, out of mind. It didn't really pump crazy, or didn't really do what it was supposed to, or hit on their roadmap, or maybe they did and now it's just dead, a dino token. The mindshare is not going to be there, right? The mindshare is going to be. That's why it's very important to, honestly, I like to go on crypto Twitter pretty much every single day and just get a nice feel for the sentiment of where mindshare currently is. And that's why I like to watch VC, see the type of new tokens they're investing in. That kind of gives me an idea for where mindshare is going. Because like I said, where attention goes, money flows. And this gives you a better idea. So you got to definitely look under the hood in crypto.
Absolutely. It's just, if you're not keeping up with it and you just have a portfolio and just want to hold that, it just doesn't work like that anymore. The coins die, like the attention fades, the team sells, and then you're just left holding dead coins. So we want to avoid that, and we want to create these opportunities. Mansoor. Hey, Mansoor's in the chat. Sorry, man.
Welcome,
We're
welcome.
roasting your portfolio.
Welcome. Yeah, if you you can catch up. I'm not sure if you just joined. If you rewind, you can go ahead and see our review of your portfolio.
Yes.
But welcome to the chat. Thank you for being active.
Welcome. Yes, so we didn't score it high. And the reason behind that is they're old coins and they're struggling for attention for the most part. Where all these new projects keep coming up, they keep stealing that attention, and a lot of these are going to struggle. And I noticed several of these are blockchains, are like full-on blockchains. You know, Dash didn't even recover in the 2021 cycle. Holding it into 2025 is just going to be tough. Horizon, Zen, the privacy blockchain. You can have privacy on a lot of existing blockchains, you know, even with like Tornado Cash and stuff, but there just isn't enough demand to fuel the growth in those ecosystems. Just quick things, you know, Neo is still around. I saw them at Hong Kong Consensus this year, but
Really?
it's it's still just not getting enough attention. I mean, if China
Yeah.
does open it up, there could be a play there, but I'd rather wait. I'd rather be late to that play than have that wasted potential of earning in something that is gaining attention, you know?
100% opportunity
Oh,
cost.
and I know you got thoughts on Celestia.
I have to do a deep sigh for that one.
So yeah, feel that pain, guys. You can feel that pain in that sigh.
Yeah, I have to do a deep sigh for that one. So much
Yeah.
potential, and when it first dropped, so much mind share, and it was seeming like it was going to be the next big thing. Data availability, the modular blockchain concept, and a whole bunch of different things like that. So Celestia, the reason that they failed, in my opinion, and pretty much their mind share fell off a cliff, is because of their setup with their VCs, some very extractive and pretty much manipulative, deceitful VC involvement, where it's like, okay, the VC allocations, which of course are worth millions and millions of dollars, are locked up, they're vested. However, those vested tokens were still able to be staked, and those VCs are still earning staking rewards on this massive amount of tokens. So their staking rewards, of course, are going to outweigh even some users' entire portfolios, and they will just be selling that every day, and they can kind of pretty much slow rub, in my opinion. So they had the data availability and all that stuff, their new tech. However, there's that constant sell pressure, and it seems just sort of like a facade as the VCs cash out on a lot of users. But thankfully, I got the airdrop, so the pain wasn't like the worst, but it was still painful because I could have sold multiples higher than what I ended up exiting at, and there was a bunch of opportunity cost stuff, and I did drink the Kool-Aid there. I won't lie, I drank some Kool-Aid there. It didn't taste good, I'll say.
Yeah. So you know, we got to remember Celestia. People believed in it because also the airdrops. Oh, you stake, you get the airdrops, the latest coins. But people quickly realized, like, oh, wait, this was a trick to get our liquidity, for us to lock our tokens and for the team to exit. So, you know, exactly. I personally have had that happen to me before. So I'm traumatized with staking. You tell me I get something for staking, I tell you to go to hell. Like, no, I'm not going to stake anything.
Exactly. You live and you learn, right? Like you learn, we're now a lot more aware of these things. I was staking on multiple Cosmos wallets to try and get these airdrops multiple times. And it worked once. It worked actually maybe 3 times, but it's especially worked once with Dimension, where they actually did airdrop you. All you had to do was stake one Celestia in your wallet. You got about $1,400. And if you take even one TIA across a few different wallets, each of those wallets got that 1,400. So I had a few TIA staked across a few wallets, and then the Dimension airdrop hit. I'm like, wow, it's actually working, the stake drop thing. Like, then that's when I really drank the Kool-Aid, sold a lot of it, put it back into Celestia and a whole bunch of stuff. And that's when the law of diminishing returns set in, and it set in very quickly, very, very quickly. And I felt the burn there. To the tune of 5 figures that I ended up not selling and pretty much losing. So
it happens. So Mansoor says oldest coins, he chose the older coins because they're fully circulated or close to fully circulated, less risk from the team dumping. That is true.
I like that.
That is true.
Rebuttal.
Yeah. But again, it's like what money is going to flow into there. That's what we have to think because again, sentiment is the biggest driver of price action. You know, if the team has no incentive to continue building, to continue shilling that coin, they might
Yeah.
move on to other stuff. And we've seen that before, even with one of these coins, Zilliqa. Because I remember Zilliqa, one of my viewers got me an interview with the founder or CEO of the Zilliqa
Nice.
at the time, and we had a chat, and I was kind of into it. He was like pretty excited, sharing his thoughts on it. And then, you know, he eventually quit to start another blockchain somewhere else. So like I would give up on
Nice.
that. Once the founder gives up, like, oh, that's it. That's it. Like there's the hope is pretty low.
No community takeover.
No,
CTO.
I mean someone else took over, but
Okay.
it's a high performance blockchain. It's like just let's just say it's an Alt L1, Alt L2, and you know
Again.
how those go.
Again, exactly. We see that again and again. But Mansoor, I did like your point that about the token in circulation. That is
That is
one
a
of my
good,
favorite
yeah.
metrics to look at. It is one of my favorite metrics to look at, especially just as I
Who
mentioned,
can
right?
dump?
These VCs who can
Yeah.
dump and how much sell pressure can they potentially bring to the chart and to the market. Sorry, there's the grass cutters outside. I'm not sure if you can hear it. I hope not.
I can't hear it. All
But
good.
perfect. But still, one thing that's almost more important or just as important is, as we mentioned, mind share, right?
Hmm.
Mind share, the attention that it has, how active is the community, in that you can have a token that's 100% unlocked, but has $10 volume or $0 volume. The
Yeah.
price is not going to move, or it could still be dumped. There's still OGs.
Yeah.
I'd rather be involved in the community that's active, with a community that's constantly growing, that's making strides, that's marketing hard, that are doing these things to just garner a community and more mindshare for the token. So with those Dino tokens, I just don't
Yeah.
see them getting that.
Honestly, I'd say take a look at Pengu as an example. They are a meme
Mhm.
coin, but they have been adding utility on top of that, and their mind share and distribution is amazing. It's just like
Yeah,
that is what other layer one, layer two, all these utility blockchains hope to achieve
pray for.
just to be in the face of everyone else.
You nailed it on the head right there. When you're talking mindshare, I believe they're really at the top of the industry when it comes to that. In my
Hmm.
opinion, they're the best in class when it comes to that, and that's like a master class on marketing, on mindshare, things like that. They have such mass appeal and execute on so many different layers that when people see the penguin, they can immediately recognize it or resonate with it for one reason or another, right? So
Hmm.
those other tokens just don't have that. And
Yeah,
I don't see
we
them
still
really
got
getting that.
we still have a few. Let's get the chat involved. Theta. Before we dig into Theta, what are your ratings, guys? 1 to 5. Hit us with a 1 to 5 Theta. And I remember this from last cycle. So I'm gonna bring up the coin market cap because I actually haven't looked at this since like 2021 or 2022. What is the rating you guys would pick Theta before we look at this chart?
I thought it was even older than that, Theta.
It's been around since 2018, the beginning of
Yeah,
2018.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Theta's an OG.
Yeah. So let's bring it out and bam.
Bam.
Ah. It's you
Not
know,
pretty.
it's not
It's not
great. It's
pretty,
not
man.
great. Like I've learned to give up on these because it's absolutely underperforming Bitcoin. And sometimes we have to just lay off the gas on some of these tokens. Maybe you don't sell everything at once. Maybe you sell 10%, 20%, and just feel that out. Feel it out if you're making the right decision rather than just holding and hoping. You have to have some bullish reason to keep holding it every month.
Somebody bought it at $14.
And oh yeah, that's like over 99% down. So, you
That's
know,
tough.
it hasn't been great. Let's see the past 3 months. Also not great. Also not great. Underperforming most of the
The
market right
market.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this isn't something, even without looking at what it does, it's just not attractive to look at. Yeah, man. I
Yeah.
just feel bad that you're holding this.
Yeah, no, that's not it. in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
So
I think that's the case for a lot of these Dino coins.
yeah, so a decentralized video delivery and content streaming platform that uses peer-to-peer network to share bandwidth and computing resources sounds great, but no demand. Like there's a lot of services that provide this already. So, it's great that it's decentralized, but looking at the chart, there's clearly not enough demand to really drive that price up.
No, and yeah, it sucks. It's that's funny. I didn't mean to just say that. It sucks, but yeah, it does.
Damn, bro.
Yeah,
It's brutal. You're brutalizing this guy.
A lot of these Dino coins are just really, it's not attractive. It's not enticing. It's not sexy. It doesn't hit the same way where it's like, oh, like I want to get in this. No one's feeling FOMO for Theta, in my opinion. No one's feeling FOMO for that. Like I feel FOMO not being in Pengu right now. I sold my Pengu airdrop. I need to pick up a bag of Pengu. You see the motion around it. You see the activity around it. You see the sentiment. You see the holders, the users, the abstract people. All these different things. You want to feel like you're missing something or that there's FOMO there. You can tell the energy is there. Theta is like, you know what I mean?
I got FOMO yesterday on abstract meme coins where the guy turned 3,000 into 900,000. I'm like, God dang! Like, I was like, all right, we're just launching meme coins every day on abstract. That's the
Isn't that what we're here for? And see, those type of gains are very much possible in crypto. I will say, that's not so far. Obviously, that's an exceptional
that's
play.
A 300x. That's like rare, and he documented it too. So he's not full of shit.
He's got the receipts.
Yeah.
So if you can really cook and if you really lock in, there's some real gains to be made here in crypto. I'm not flowing to things that don't have attention, that don't have market share. You can speculate on a few different things, but a lot of these Dino tokens are already dead sometimes. I'm not sure if you watch Shark Tank, Dan, but Kevin O'Leary.
I do. I love it.
One of his famous things is take it behind the barn and shoot it. Sometimes the token is dead. You just got to say RIP and move on to where the value is flowing to, where the attention is flowing to. Bottom line.
Absolutely.
So I'll take that one behind the barn.
Yeah. Oh, man. Sorry. This list is just painful every time we go to the next one. All right. Polkadot. We know Polkadot. They still have so much money. They have like a pretty large treasury. They announced earlier this year that they're going to sell Polkadot to, I think anywhere from $2 to $10 million in their Polkadot treasury to buy Bitcoin, just because Polkadot has been underperforming. They still show up to these big crypto conferences. They still have a presence, but no one is using Polkadot. They even have a Kaito campaign. They're spending so much money, but they're not bringing on users or dApps that people want to use. So they've been struggling.
Yeah. So with Polkadot, first of all, they have like unlimited money. I don't understand it.
It doesn't make sense, right? Like how much money
doesn't even
do they
make
have?
sense. They have unlimited money. I'm not sure what's up with some of these blockchains, but they will have just unlimited money. You remember that time they spent? I can't remember exactly how much it was. Maybe $1 million plus on
KOLs?
the first ever graphic logo on CoinMarketCap.
Yeah, that's still there.
We're deploying marketing. Is it still there?
They had the first dumbest spend.
That was so dumb. The first ever dynamic logo. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a GIF. You mean a GIF?
A GIF. Yeah.
Oh, they paid 80. No, I heard it was like 80 grand just to set it up.
Something ridiculous like that.
But it was another $500,000 in like KOL stuff.
Oh,
but yeah, you see this? You see this? Like this is not gonna make me want to buy this coin.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, do other tokens even do that? I don't think anyone is doing that. Like, no one's spending to do that.
No, they don't really need to because, this is just on CoinMarketCap. So I don't think it's really going to drive attention. On the offhand, you're just scrolling through and then see an animation like, oh, I'm buying this coin. Look at that animation.
Oh, snap. It's like, damn. Nah, man. No one's doing that. No one is doing that. But yeah, Polkadot, I am not bullish on.
Yeah, and if you want to like help build out your theses for your investments, you got to dive into their ecosystem. You got to find out like what are they doing to grow, like how are they onboarding developers, users, partners, how are they growing their footprints, how are they going to compete with like these new competitors, like just things to consider. And You know, if you can't come up with answers, maybe pull some of those funds back. You know.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. All right.
And we got ICP. I got some thoughts on ICP, Internet Computer, because I
Right.
drank the Kool-Aid on this. Like it was pumping. It had like a 300% run like a year and a half ago in December. I met one of the ICP guys at Taipei Blockchain Week. I
Oh,
connected
wow.
with him. He got me in their ecosystem. I just started using ICP, and it was terrible. It was a terrible experience. It didn't make sense to me, but they said they had so many dApps that they were onboarding, that they were building something different. There were a few cool dApps that I haven't seen on other blockchains, but the general user experience for DeFi was terrible. So money was not going to flow into that ecosystem. It was outrageously slow, and there's no stable coins. There's no native stable coins. There's no bridge stable coins. Everything is against ICP. So you have full exposure to the price of ICP no matter what you're holding on that chain.
Yeah, one thing that did entice me a little bit back in the day with ICP was the community. I saw some passion. It reminded me a little bit of the early, even maybe XRP style community. People really rode behind the founder, and he had a lot of fans. So I
Mhm.
thought that was interesting. But as far as actual shipment of products being built and protocols, I feel like it wasn't really there or was under delivering when it
Yeah.
came to that. The community hype and the sentiment, and I guess the roadmap and the plans and the promises were there to get people hyped and to drink some Kool-Aid. But in
Yeah.
practice, I don't feel like it ever or is yet to live up to that hype.
Absolutely. With even the wallets on ICP were pretty bad. Like it just didn't really make me feel safe. It didn't seem like a
Yeah.
polished experience.
It was obscure for how big it was and how much hype
Mhm.
it had, right? It wasn't so polished. It wasn't a polished experience.
Yeah. So, Joseph, would you do a review on ICP? I actually have one. It's a little old, it's outdated, but for the most part, that kind of gives you a sense of what's going on. And, even looking at the price now, it has been underperforming uh, most of the market. So it's at $5. It was, it's just been going sideways. So not something we want to get in unless we find out some kind of momentum that starts building up to bring attention to ICP, unless they do some massive upgrades or something.
Yeah, something's got to happen. There needs to be some sort of catalyst. Now is definitely the time. The team should
Mhm.
definitely be locking. I haven't really followed up with ICP too much as of recently, but I know their hype was once at a very very strong level, and now with the markets heating up, hopefully they ship something that actually draws demand. You know.
Absolutely. We got Ibrahim. Josh, what's up with that Praxis guide?
It's coming. It's
Wants that
coming.
airdrop. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. I'm gonna do definitely going to do a deep dive on the King Capital channel. I know I haven't uploaded in a little bit, but we're getting back to that. And definitely don't miss my X, because it'll hit there first, and then I sort of break down that tweet and expand it into a longer video where I'm gonna show exactly what I'm doing. Definitely, but just a quick word of advice: definitely get into their Discord, go and earn their roles. You go ahead and like leave a welcome message, go into their Discord. There's only going to be like one or two chats where you can actually chat. They have it a little bit of like a cult style where you get handpicked to get these roles, and it unlocks other rooms within the Discord server where you're going to go ahead and leave like another message. Some of it is like a little bit cryptic. It's a little bit almost like a riddle style, but then you get another role, and then that's when you can make your way to becoming a citizen. So I'm going to do like a deeper dive on that on my channels, so definitely follow for more. But as of right now, that's where you can get started, Mr. Ibrahim. So definitely get into their Discord, grind and get their roles, and that's where you can get started. And you learn how to contribute in other ways, which can hopefully lead to an airdrop. But I'll do a deep dive later. Sorry for the wait, man.
Awesome. Good follow up. You guys are going to get that content. Mansour, dot ETF possibility in November. So before any ETF, most of crypto goes down. I remember in the past with the Bitcoin or ETF, ETH ETF news, the prices were down. I mean, even when those ETFs launched, a lot of us were like super bullish on Bitcoin and Ethereum. The price did nothing. Nothing happened.
No, a lot of these catalysts, it's funny now, crypto catalysts don't really have the same weight as they once did in the previous cycles. There could be some huge news that comes out and will still trade sideways, or it takes time for the market to really price it in, if you will. Bitcoin ETF dropped, and I think that very day it was pretty uneventful for how big that news was.
It was like minus 2%, and everyone's like, "What happened?"
And how anticipated that was. But then when in practice, when we started getting those inflows later on, we actually did see a nice gradual
slower
growth.
buildup.
Slower buildup, which I think is more sustainable. We're hovering around the 120K levels today, and I think that's healthy for different things like that. So definitely don't expect like these huge market reactions to these quote unquote catalysts like they used to be. I remember just a few tweets, just 1 or 2 tweets would move the whole market back in like the 2021 cycle and the cycle before that. So I think that's very interesting, and we want to see what it does following that. What are the actual inflows going to be like, right? What are the actual how's it going to be in practice, and how's that actually going to serve the price? So
absolutely,
the news itself.
So man, this list keeps going. So eGold, or previously known as eGold or Elrond, renamed to MultiversX. I got in on this too because it used to be Elrond, and I only got into it because the community was so loud and the price was pumping like crazy. So I got exposure to it. I got into their liquidity pool farming, and then I just lost it all. It's just constant on the way to zero. They had like these partnerships with this AI Audi thing in Germany, and nothing came of it. So I haven't been following up in the last few years. But again, a highly scalable blockchain. So another like fast L1, L2. And it's just not getting that attention. So if it doesn't have that attention, it's really going to be hard to drive that price. So I haven't actually looked at the price yet. Let's see if I've been missing out. And it's trending down in a bull market, which is not something you want to see.
Yeah, that's definitely not something that you want to see. The trend is your friend, and I don't like to jump on a sinking ship. I've seen MultiversX once again. I'm not sure what they're doing to drive demand. Oh, that is not pretty. That is not.
So
pretty.
I'm gonna say those tokens are probably unlocked, but again, that team, those developers, they don't have any incentive to really build something if they got their payment, and there's just no more money waiting for them. They probably sold.
Yeah, they probably sold.
Yeah, and like right here.
And let me tell you something. Once I sell, to be honest, I more times than not I walk away, unless it's like Bitcoin or Ethereum. A lot of these builders, these teams, they're walking away, and they're building where there's actual attention and where liquidity is flowing. Sorry guys, I'm gonna use the saying again. Where attention goes, money flows, right? So why would they go ahead? Why would as a builder, as a team, why would I want to go ahead and build there if the volumes are dried up? If this is what the chart looks like, it's not very enticing. I'd rather go build over on Sweet. I'd rather go build over on Solana, or maybe on some of these new blockchains, maybe on like Mega ETH, maybe on Monad, than MultiversX, right? So you have to think of these factors, right? There's so much that goes into it, because to me, what draws in users is good dApps and good software. And what drives in developers to a blockchain is volume and community. And are people here actually going to use what I build if I build something really good, right? So it kind of goes from the top down. So the best builders, why would they go to MultiversX if it's dried up, or eGold, rather than some of these other options, even some of these other newer options, right? So that's my thoughts there. It kind of goes from the top down. The blockchain doesn't have a lot of hype. The builders won't want to build there. And then in turn, there's not going to be a community there unless someone just decides to build something killer, which
absolutely
I'm not sure why they would.
Like most of my portfolio is Bitcoin, because all the other altcoins went to zero. So now it's just mostly Bitcoin, not exactly by choice, but a good lesson learned. And I'm not going to sell that, because I've learned like long term, it's just easier to hold.
Yeah, I guess when you get seasoned in crypto, just like the bell curve, left curve, and you go up doing a bunch of stuff, and then you end up similar to where you started, but you're a lot more aware, right? But it's
Yeah.
similar to where you started. Just go ahead and start with Bitcoin. A lot of the time, outperforms the whole market over a span of time.
Absolutely. All right, we'll take a few comments and then we'll keep jumping in. So the Mad Causey, I hold ETH SPX. I'm guessing that's the meme coin. Taubot, Mindfac, Wolf, and Brett. I'm not familiar with Mindfac and Wolf. Are you familiar with any of these?
Wolf, I am.
Mm-hmm.
Mindfac is not. It looks like he's
Meme coin?
definitely a meme heavy guy. I
Yeah,
love the
I felt
Brett
that.
pick.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love the Brett pick. There are some people who just main memes. That's their main character. That's their main way to play the game. And I'm not even mad at it. Like, these are some of the best performers. Oh, even look
Bro,
at
this is
Mindfact.
2 weeks old. Bro, this is 2 weeks old.
Okay.
Relax.
Maybe he
You coming
slid
in here with
that in.
you
I think he
coming in here
slid
with
that
that?
one in. Yeah, I
Get
think
out of
he
here,
slid that
bro.
one. What's that market
Yeah.
cap? Just real quick, what's the market cap? You don't
8
mind. You don't have to
million.
open it back up. Okay, that might be the dev. That might be the dev.
It might be the dev. The trading volume is pretty low. It's like
That might be the
232,000.
dev. I love how he slid that in with some of the other ones. It
Yeah.
makes
It's
me
like, let
think
me sandwich
about.
it. I know you've
Yeah, it
heard of
makes me
these
think
other
about
ones.
his
Yeah.
portfolio. I don't know exactly. I know you've heard about SPX, Taobao,
Take that
Wolf,
out.
and
Take
Brett.
that off screen. Yeah.
Get that out. Get that out. I see you. I see you. I won't even. Yeah, I see you.
So,
That
yeah.
reminds me a little bit of NBT guy
Kumar.
who just jumped
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah.
Kumar, salute. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
NBT. So I think he definitely was sent. He's one of the troops, one of the foot soldiers that was probably
Could
sent from
be.
that community to go around to the live streams and do some different stuff like that. So that's funny,
Yeah.
man. Salute. Honestly, every project needs
That's a
somebody
hustle.
like him.
Yeah,
The
he's
hustler
hustling.
that are gonna. He's not the dev, but he's definitely.
Could
He
be the dev.
definitely.
Could be the dev. Who
It could be the
knows?
dev. Yeah,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not the dev. It could be the dev.
Hey, no, it's not me, man. Can't prove that.
Yeah, and of course that chart looks bullish too. Nice one. Nice little try there.
And again, with a community that's 2 weeks old, that community can disappear very quickly. I've seen this many times,
quickly.
especially with the meme coins that get listed on an exchange. They're like, all right, we're out. We know this is the final pump.
Guys, don't let him dump on you, guys. Don't let him dump on you. I'm just playing. All right.
Let's see. Kumar,
Dan and John?
he has
Salute.
Bliss Crypto. Bliss Crypto is the future. Boomer. Keep seeing you guys miss the opportunity building generational wealth because you're ignorant. Don't come here and talk shit. Damn, Kumar. Came in hot.
I appreciate you, Kumar. He has our back. It looks like there was somebody in the comments earlier.
Oh, there
just
was
saying,
someone.
like,
I missed it.
Yeah. They said, like, after the hurricanes, or if there's like a big tragedy in the world or a catastrophe, what are you guys going to do with your crypto? It's going to go to zero. You're not going to be able to get food or gas.
I missed that.
You're going to need cash. I noticed that earlier. I thought you just ignored them and skipped them.
Oh no,
I
guess
you guys can shove your crypto up your Wawa when shit hits
Oh.
the fan.
All right.
I'm sure if you want to pull up his comment. But did you have a take on that?
I mean, all right. Well, you can say that to anyone in any type of live stream. Some kids playing a game, someone like walking out on the street. You can literally say that about anything. So, we're investing. This is our hobby. This is what we enjoy. And you came here to shit on it. Good for you. I hope you feel better because I know you want to make people feel as bad as you feel. And, you got to change that perspective. Yeah.
100%. I say definitely. Kumar said a little bit boomer style, maybe TradFi style. I'm not mad at you. Everyone has their opinions, but the point of it is to, of course, go ahead and potentially increase our wealth and get our maximum value out of crypto, which, funny enough, in turn would give us, more cash per se when in catastrophe we can use, and just different things like that. Honestly, you have to be ahead of the times a little bit. Crypto has seen tremendous growth. Just yesterday, Bitcoin actually flipped Google, becoming the world's 5th largest asset. We have entire countries, nations, governments that are now putting Bitcoin and crypto on their balance sheets, in their treasuries, all these different things. So we're seeing true global adoption, and we've been here from early. And we've been
Yeah.
talking about this from early, helping people be more educated on this. So it's important that you're here, Mr. Have Bliss. It's important that you're here, and I'm
Yeah.
glad that you're here learning about it, because that's a very old school mindset, and you kind of have to be with the times. Every few years, there's going to be a new, a new breakthrough
Right.
in these industries. A new, what's the word for it? A new,
Evolving
is
currencies.
blanking. Evolving currencies, but just like we had the gold rush, and then we have the internet boom, and we have crypto / now AI as well. There's always going to be that next frontier, and you can easily get left behind. And especially now, I think the wealth gap is going to become even further than it's ever been
Yeah.
because of a lot of these factors. So it's very important that you're aware of what's going on in the world and in the new
Yeah.
digital age. So thank you for joining, and I hope you get some education watching the channel. I'll even encourage you to go ahead and join the Our Brand Discord, where you can actually see some plays being made in real time. But thank you for joining and being active in the chat. And it's good to stay educated on what's going on in the future. So appreciate you.
Josh has a very good attitude about this. I just kind of wrote him off like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, that's why I thought you just ignored him. Like, we'll just move on.
Oh no,
but
I missed
also
it.
salute to Kumar. Salute to Kumar.
Yeah,
as well.
Kumar has our back. We've seen you in the chat. Always a pleasure.
No, I appreciate you. All right, moving right on.
All right, so we got a couple more. We went over Tia. We got to open the chart. I know this is going to be painful to see for most. Oh God, that's so smooth. That was like the smoothest short anyone could have done.
Yeah, that's a real smooth short. And had the community actually known about how the VC allocations were functioning and working, that would have been a no-brainer short. It's definitely clearly a slow bleed to zero, because these VCs every day were earning interest on their stake TIA, which was supposed to be completely locked, but they're able to stake their locked TIA and earn real TIA in those inflation rewards and just sell those every day. Because if you're earning rewards, let's say, what was it? The APY was definitely over at least 10% or 5% even. So that's 5% of 10 million that you're earning all the time and all this stuff. But multiple VCs and lots of capital and even locked team allocations, everyone with a locked allocation can
OTC
and sell those rewards, right? So that's what ruined it for me. And that's why this chart, in my opinion, looks like this. So I'm not sure they're going to get their hype back at all, or their mind share. I think they've lost the trust of the community, the core community at least.
Right.
So this is one I would just kind of walk away from.
And this is kind of interesting because he mentioned that he was looking for coins where they've been fully distributed already. And, you know, again, we say there's just not going to be any growth if there's no incentive for those teams to continue that building. But, you know, a lot of shady things happen behind the scenes with these heavy VC coins where, again, they can stake their allocations and then they continue to dump it, or on a more advanced side, from what I've seen and like behind the scenes, they can sell their OTC. They can sell OTC, where they say like, "Hey, I'll sell you these coins half off, but you have to hold them 6 months, or you give me the cash now." And then they use that cash to drive up the price or do some other manipulation. And it's not a game you can easily play.
Yeah, and it's definitely not a game you can easily play. It's not for beginners, and there's just so much going on in the background that the community doesn't know about, right? That wasn't common knowledge across any of the community, that the VCs were able to do this, and that even those sort of deals like you just mentioned are being done in the background. Or you can get 50% off, or you might hear an entity saying they're buying, but they're buying OTC, they're not buying on the open market, and just different, sort of deals done in the dark. So I always want to be aware of that, especially as a normal user. Just always remember that there's some sort of cabal in most projects.
Yes, absolutely. I saw this tweet earlier. I kind of wished I saved it, where some new crypto users were saying like these OGs were too conservative, but that's because we've been run scammed so many times that we are never going to drink the Kool-Aid again. We're going to be more conservative, but that also makes it harder to take on the risk you need to get those like 100x plays.
Oh, that's well said. I guess it's about finding that balance. I like to believe that it makes us more seasoned and make better decisions.
Absolutely.
But you do still need to have a decent risk appetite to be able to take on to be able to take on those plays that can hit you with that 100x,
Yeah.
right? So I guess it's all about having a balance. I think that OG thesis I used to have still stands pretty strong. If you're getting into something really risky, obscure, let's say just a new meme coin that has potential, go in with between 1% and 3% of your total portfolio, because if it does what it's supposed to and hits this 100x or what you're speculating could potentially do, then you're multiplying 2-3xing plus your entire portfolio while risking 1% to 3%. So if it goes to zero, you're not gonna lose sleep, lose your hair. But if it does what it's supposed to, you could potentially actually multiply your entire portfolio. So I think that's a decent way to go about it. That's a thesis.
Absolutely. And I've seen some theories on people investing in the trenches. Some of the best traders statistically hold for less than 60 seconds, or they just want to get in on that momentum. They take that profit, they bolt.
Yeah, that's another way to go. That's another way to go about it. I guess that's like scalping in a way, right? If you will, scalping, get in, get up, get out. That's interesting. That's interesting. I've never tested that out. To me, I find that even nerve-wracking. So I'm sure the people who are doing this are getting in with like a decent amount of size, and even just that small swing, they can get out, and they make they make some decent money, right?
Yeah, obviously it depends on like that market too. If it has that liquidity, you know, you don't want to do this in a coin that's like brand new, because as soon as like the dev sees you buying, like, oh, it's time to sell.
100%. Or they can even have bots ready to sell on top of large buys. Right?
Yeah, most of the most successful traders on Pump Fun are bots.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And they have these intricate setups and a bunch of stuff. So that's who you're trading against. Remember that.
Yeah.
Remember that.
All right. Joseph, I have recently seen lots of new coins on major exchanges put under the innovation zone. My take is these pumps are taking retail liquidity from the market, hence we'll have to wait longer for the bull run. Kind of, you know, they're always listing coins because they want to make money. They want that trading volume because they take a cut of those fees. But I think for like the major retail investor, they think crypto is a scam. We had someone earlier mentioning that it was pretty sketchy and that may God have mercy on our souls. Something like that, to that effect. Yeah. But it's really hard to tell. I think, you know, if ETH continues to pump, so many coins are paired against ETH that the coin will continue to go up. You know, even Retail DAO, the retail token, that coin has been doing well because it's paired against ETH. So there is some demand, but it was a really good move setting up that liquidity pool against Ethereum.
Yeah, exactly. That's the rising tide that actually lifts all ships, because most tokens are, like you just said, paired to ETH. And so the value of that ETH in the liquidity pool going up, the more value that you can swap whatever token that was for in terms of dollars, right? So I find that very interesting. So I guess for builders out there, a lot of the time they will go to some chains that they're personally even most bullish on to pair their token with that chain's token, which the biggest one, of course, is Ethereum, which was the OG blockchain. For you guys that may not know, Ethereum is the original blockchain, the godfather of blockchain, if you will, that made all these altcoins like we see possible and really set the blueprint for blockchains, right? So that's why I'm always bullish on ETH to some degree as the godfather of crypto. I feel like ETH, in a way, is forever, and it kind of set the standard for this whole generation of crypto and altcoins. So
yeah, honestly, like most of my positions right now are leveraged Bitcoin and Ethereum because those have the attention. Now, altcoins are great too, but that's a tougher bet. You know, I think it is a safe bet to ride the momentum that traditional finance is jumping into Bitcoin and Ethereum. We have Tom Lee from Fundstrat buying $20 billion worth of Ethereum. He's saying that it's going to go to $27,000 by the end of next year. And I'm glad he's bullish because that's going to make other people bullish.
Did you say 20 billion?
20 billion. This was announced earlier this week. He's raising 20 billion. He currently holds the largest fund right now of 5 billion among like a total of like 10 billion with other funds. Let me see if I can bring it up.
That's insane. That's a lot of, that's some serious capital.
Yeah. So this is the strategic ETH reserve.xyz. His fund Bitmine Immersion, currently holding $5 billion worth of Ethereum, and they're going to be buying another 20 billion. These are the other funds that are holding Ethereum and the total value. So, yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more of this. We're going to see more funds holding a strategic ETH reserve.
Damn, my AirPods just died. My bad. Hold up. But he's pretty much saying you guys aren't bullish enough. That's what it sounds like.
Yes. Yeah. So he's leading the ETH bull run. So I want to be a part of that. And that is one of the safer bets in crypto right now. Leveraged ETH and Bitcoin, in my opinion. And I'm still gambling on some altcoins, but for the most part, a lot of confidence is in those coins. So we don't really need to take as much risk in altcoins yet until we see altcoins start moving.
Exactly. Over the last week, over the last few weeks, ETH longs have absolutely been printing. So that just makes sense. The trend is your friend, for the short term, for the midterm, for the long term. So in a market like this, Dan, for the community, would you be going high leverage? Would you be going sort of safe leverage? Does liquidation scare you? What would you do with this type of momentum? I feel like when the momentum gets hot, that's actually, it could be good to get greedy and go a little bit higher leverage.
That's true. I do high leverage. I do high leverage short term. I try to take those profits. We had that recent dip and I forgot to put like a stop loss and I lost that high leverage bet, but I still have some that are like 3x, 5x, and up to 7x on some depending on the platform. So, it really depends on what it is. High leverage will get you wrecked long term, but I'm kind of betting on this momentum and I'm taking those small gambles. For the most part, I use lower leverage for like the bigger bets.
I like that. So lower leverage on something that you might be waiting a bit longer for it to play out, maybe like a few days, weeks, right, if you will. Whereas high leverage, you'll kind of trade in and out, maybe a few hours, maybe a day or two.
Yes.
Would that be accurate?
Absolutely, because I've been liquidated so many times that it's just terrifying to get that email saying you don't have that money anymore.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
Yeah.
I've experienced that. Or you get margin called, and then you get liquidated.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough. But when you're on the right side of it, it's a great experience. But with all these different things and different catalysts, I feel like now is definitely the time. If you are somebody who does a lot of technical analysis and trading the charts, I feel like these are the sort of market conditions that are giving these trading opportunities to open up. It would be interesting to see more TA guys in the off-brand chat and making some calls and doing what they're doing. So if you are an active trader, I invite you once again, join the off-brand Discord and come share with us some of your plays, and we'll get the discussion going and speculate on the leverage markets.
Absolutely. So, Mansoor, I'm an analysis total 2 chart because in April 2025, the chart also there demand the area. That's why I entered the altcoins in a weekly time frame. So I guess he's talking about how he positioned himself earlier this year for these different coins. We all have our thesis. Some work out, some don't. I'm not saying like I'm the best investor. I make mistakes too, but we also want to come up with reasons of why there's going to be demand, and if the coins we're holding isn't outperforming Bitcoin, because Bitcoin and ETH, that is just an easy hold, and it has been for quite a long time.
100%, especially Bitcoin has been easier. ETH, I'm glad ETH is finally getting its aura back.
People were shitting on ETH earlier this year.
Yeah, people were really shitting on ETH, but ETH has gotten its mojo back and got its aura back. I'm happy to see it because I believe that's what's been holding back a proper alt season. I think we're actually right on the precipice, right on the doorstep of a proper alt season because Ethereum has finally woken back up and is finally, teasing with all-time highs. So I think once we see that or we get that headline for ETH all-time highs, of course, you're going to see, as you mentioned earlier, the coins that are already paired to ETH, which is like half the market. They also rise up, and that brings attention to them, and then it sparks up more speculation. people rotate their profits from Bitcoin and Ethereum into the altcoins. The risk appetite goes higher, and different things like that. So I feel like that cascade is what properly starts an alt season, and I think we can see one here soon if all goes to plan.
Absolutely. We got to find out those emerging blockchains. We got to buy some mega ETH meme coins. We got to buy some abstract meme coins and just let it percolate over the next few months.
100%. And these potential new ecosystems that are gaining traction and look like they could have some proper hype post launch, it's important for me to get into the 3 pillars. To me, there's always going to be 3 pillars to every new blockchain. Of course, you have the chain's gas token. I'll use SUI as an example. Let's say SUI was just launching and it had hype. So SUI, definitely want to hold some SUI. I like to get the chain's main mascot, which is the chain's #1 meme coin. So I'll say, like, let's say Lo-Fi, right? And then I like to get the chain's main decentralized exchange token, which I guess would be thesis, right? So to me, those are like the 3 pillars of any new blockchain. So if there's a new chain that has a lot of hype, to me, those are some easy picks, and that will ride that traction and momentum as far as it would potentially go, or at least into some decent profits. So we're talking about abstract, of course. Abster, I think, is probably the main one right now. Helped our friends that are on Twitter get to 900K. The abstract token itself probably going to be a pretty lucrative airdrop for the people who've been farming hard. And then whatever the main exchange ends up being over there, that's probably going to do well. So for you guys out there, if you are bullish on a new chain, those are some of the first places I like to look, low-hanging fruit, so that you don't scour for hours through DexScreener and these random Telegram groups and the tokens are looking pretty obscure. Those are, to me, the 3 lowest hanging fruits when it comes to a new blockchain, where if it does have the adoption, will almost always have their time,
their ecosystem pump,
and will pump. So that's my thesis there. What do you think of that?
Absolutely. I agree with that. You know, as of recently, there's this platform to launch coins on SUI called Blast.fun. They went down today because there was just too much demand. And some coins have been printing there. So it looks like it's getting attention, and it should be something we watch. So just a heads up, there's like a pump fund called Blast Fund specifically for SUI, and activity has been growing. Yeah, let me bring that up just right now. I saw the tweet. After I saw the tweet that it went down, I was really interested in trying to go to the website that was down.
Damn. See alpha here every single day. Yesterday we found that launch pad over with on base through the guys at, what was that, Toshi? Now we're seeing Blast.fun, a potential pump fun banger on SUI. I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, so volume is still pretty low. Look, that coin, $77, $20,000. So once we see volume really pumping, then we can find those opportunities. And these are linked to X accounts, which are pretty interesting, because I know that this account is probably not connected with Rootlets. It says 0 trusted, how many followers? I actually like that. So these are meme coins based on reputation. So you would just be betting on, like, all right, who trusts this person? How many followers do they have? And are they going to rug? But obviously you can buy this. You can buy community members, so that always mixes it up. So there's always risk. But if I see something that is made by someone I follow and I trust them, I'm gonna probably speculate there.
100%. I think that's like a groundbreaking feature. I think that's a groundbreaking feature, in my opinion, because think about when you jump onto a pump fund or some of these random launch pads. It's so sketchy. It's like it's like going to like a back alleyway in some random spot. You just don't know what's there, who it's by, or anything like that. So that just adds a whole nother layer of I guess trust, and you can do a little bit more speculation, a little bit better speculation and research just based on who it is that is putting that token out there. So you can hop on to let's say funky.sui, for example, who you're hovering over now, and see how long they've been on X, see who follows them, see what they're interacting with, see some of their tweets. It seems like a real person. Maybe they're even doxed like us, things like that. So okay, maybe I do want to speculate on that, and then you can look at the token. So I like what they did with that, and I'm surprised the other launch pads haven't really done anything like this. You would just see buy the wallet address like it shows for some of them, but
yeah,
the fact
the
that you
other
see,
launch pods are absolutely going to steal this.
yeah, I think so. I think so.
Now the question is, would you launch a meme coin?
Would I launch a meme coin?
Yeah.
Yes, I would actually. Yeah, I would. Not now, maybe, but I would launch a meme coin. Why, you might ask? Because as a, let's say, a crypto token founder, I feel like with a meme coin, you're having fun with it. There is work to be done to keep up the community and to keep the hype, but there isn't that pressure to go ahead and build some next level tech, and then all this stuff, and then shipping and testing and test nets, a lot more heavy lifting. You're gonna have to be hiring a lot more people. You're gonna be having to hire legitimately talented software developers and things like that. The stress level's high. I would take on something like that one day. Maybe when I'm super rich and I could build like my dream team. However, meme coin is something that I would launch like before that. It's a little bit bit lower barrier to entry, more on the creative side, based on your creative ability, on your ability to garner a community and do things like that. So I think it's a little bit lower stress and a little more fun. But then again, of course, there's always a risk that comes with it as well. Let's say the token underperforms,
Reputation,
people are gonna hate you, your reputation. Let's say someone sniped the launch and they dump it, and it's like, oh, he's a rugger, and all this stuff, right? It takes courage to launch a token.
Yeah, I have the same fears. So I'm thinking, if you want to maintain the reputation that you've built, there's only two ways to do this. You launch 0 meme coins, or you launch one every day. And you tell people, hey, I'm just going to launch a meme coin every day. Don't hate me, but this is just what I do.
Yeah, that's funny. Either all the way in or just not at all. Or not at all.
Well, like, you can't take it seriously because, like, no, he's going to do that tomorrow too. Just a heads up.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
Well,
I do have.
Let's say we do that.
Was that?
Let's say we do that. Let's say we do a meme coin every day. We'll call it today's date, and the coin's name is just today's date.
Today's date, and we do it live on the show with everybody watching, and we'll show you the whole process each and every time, every day. That'd be hilarious. But quickly would raise some concerns,
diminishing returns quickly.
Yeah, diminishing returns, and also brand risk, of course, right? So that's the one thing with that. But funny enough, though, all that being said, I do have something that, as you know, I've been working on in the background. I won't say too much on that yet. We are entering a hackathon. Oh, a little bit of tea spilled, but more on that later. I think building in crypto, I love crypto for just the community oriented approach. I love how it brings so many users together, and really you can actually put anything together. Like, even like, think about Pump Fund was started by 2-3 guys, relatively simple concept, and look at Pump Fund today. There's just opportunity every single day in crypto. So I wouldn't discourage anyone from trying to get behind the wheel, learning how to build and put some things together. And on that front, definitely a lot of potential value there, but definitely want to make sure you're doing it the right way.
Absolutely. And if you're in the off-brands community and you want to like get a little more insights on this, or you want to help Josh out or the off-brand community itself, feel free to mention that.
Yeah, 100%. We're big on collaboration, so definitely jump in. There's opportunities that jump and come out every single day in crypto.
Absolutely. All right, we are just past the hour mark, and I think it's a good time to wrap it up. Do you have any last thoughts you'd like to share, Josh?
Definitely join us in the off-brand chats. I think I mentioned that a few times on the stream. It's always a pleasure to be here on the stream. Some exciting times I feel like are bubbling up in crypto, so hopefully we have some more alpha for you in the next couple of episodes. Be sure you tune in. Be sure you follow me on X at GPT Joshua, and I'll catch you in the next episode.
Awesome. Appreciate everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Feel free to like the video. That always helps, and we'll catch you soon. Probably tomorrow, a few days, who knows? All right, catch you guys later. Bye. For anyone else here, you're catching behind the scenes up until I can hit end stream because YouTube lags about a minute. Kumar, not just Pumo, even the later ones like Bags and Let's Bonks are making bank when it comes to